Okay, so here we go. It's amazing how dark it is now at 5:45 in the morning. So it is an ungodly hour. I was up at 4:45. Woke up around 1 o'clock. Didn't sleep much after that, so a little on the tired side here. So normally, as we did in the previous episode, we kind of have a little bit of a sort of backdoor route that we take to get to the main highway. However, we have to kind of take a little bit of a detour because we do have a visitor joining us today. So I'm on my way to pick up my friend Terry, who will be on the drive with us today. And Terry's been in a previous exploration episode, so he joined us for a hike last year, the one we did over the Matawan River. So we'll have a little bit of accompaniment today. Luna's antsy. No, you cannot look out the window. There's like mosquitoes already in the truck. We don't need any more. Little mist sort of coming down. That's sort of the forecast for today. We might get a few little showers on the way out there. It's supposed to be warm and humid with some showers in the morning potentially. And so it's going to be kind of sticky. It's supposed to be like 27, 28 degrees. There's mosquitoes flying around here. Might be an interesting one today. A little bit of fog. We're going to see some smoke from the forest fires that are going on and that have been sort of affecting good chunks of North America here for the last several months. Some pretty big fires out in Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Very dry conditions precipitating those fires. So, in any case, what we're going to do here is we'll switch off here and then we'll come back on once we picked up Terry. All right, so we've picked up our co-pilot for today, which is very appropriate since Terry fixes aircraft. Maybe we'll get him to say hi.
Hello.
So you don't think he's the pokeroo or something. You have to be probably over 40 and Canadian to probably understand the pokeroo reference, as Terry and I sort of chuckle about this. So anyway, we are heading out towards Ignace and then eventually to Silver Dollar. We've never done this route before, so this is kind of an alternate highway out there. This is Highway 102. And I've driven this before. Terry and I have driven this before. Basically what we're doing today, as I mentioned in the introduction, is we're doing a little bit of a scouting mission for my future hikes. And so we actually did one almost a month ago. Yep. So we were out on the July the 9th, and today is August the 7th. And on that previous hike, we basically went from Graham up to where there's a washout just past Quorn. And so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading up to Ignace and then turning north on Ignace towards Silver Dollar and then picking up the railway grade from there and then driving down to the north side of the washout and basically exploring from there all the way back to the highway, which should be an interesting adventure, particularly if it's going to be kind of warm and humid. Terry wanted me to stop here.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So we're going to pull into the Esso here, and what we're going to do is we're going to come back once we get up to Sistinen's Corners. All right, so picked up a little fog here, so we are now approaching It's actually gotten a little bit better lately, but this was kind of accident central here. So this is a place known as Sistinen's Corners. So basically this is where the highway that we were on, which is Highway 102, and we will have a little discussion about highways a little later on. This is where Highway 102 meets the main highway, which is 1117, and 1117 continues on for a little bit until it eventually splits. And so there was a rash of traffic accidents in the area there for a while. Trucks like blowing through the intersection, which is why they have all of the signage, all of the lights and everything.
They got cameras up now too.
Yeah, there's a traffic camera there. You can check out the intersection as well. So if you go on a bunch of different websites like Ontario 511, you can actually see the traffic cameras and basically see what's kind of going on. I think they're updated like every hour or so. So anyway, so we're now on the main highway, so Highway 1117 West. In our previous episode, we recorded where the highway splits at Chappaqua. Right here, we're coming up to a place called Sunshine, and you can see just beside us to the north, to our right, the tracks of the Canadian Pacific Kansas City. That is their Kaministiquia subdivision. It actually runs up to Ignace, where we are going today, and very familiar to me, very familiar to Terry. Terry's got a place up in Uppsala, which we went up to on our last hike, and for me going out west towards Shibandawon, driving by here all the time. So it is a very, very well-known location. Again, you can see the fog, and again, it's just part of the fact that it's going to be very, very humid today. And I'm sure once the fog lifts, it's probably going to be kind of sticky and warm. Here we're crossing the Matawan River, and you can see the highway bridge, and then you have the railway bridge beside us here. So again, a lot of these places that we're passing used to be stops on the railway back in the day, right? So Sunshine on the Grand Trunk line, the CN line, Ellis Station is just up here. So again, lots of activity in the area. It is a very, very fertile area, so there were lots of farms and things like that along here, basically in the along the river valley. So in any case, what we're going to do is now that you've kind of seen the area a little bit, what we're going to do is we're going to switch off, and we'll come back probably when we get up to Uppsala. All right, so we've made it to Uppsala. If you remember from our previous episode, we did a little bit of recording in Uppsala. Unfortunately, basically we were just able to get a little bit in before the camera died. One of the cameras died, and so we didn't really see much of the community before we had to turn off on North Road. So very important place to Terry. So Terry basically has a place up here, has a camp up here.
It's kind of like home.
Like home. Lots of family connections here for him as well. Your grandfather worked on the railway, right?
Grandfather's uncles.
Yeah.
And we've had this property for over 100 years.
Yeah, so big family connection for him. So Uppsala, like a lot of the places in the area, essentially was founded as a railway stop. So in this part of the country, basically where the highways are is, for the most part, with a few exceptions, basically the highways were built alongside the railway lines, and so the communities that you now drive through were originally founded as railway communities, right? So basically leaving Thunder Bay, We passed Sistedens Corners, which was basically an intersection between, at one time, 3 railway lines.
Yeah.
And then, back we passed Wraith, which was a stop on both the Canadian Pacific and the Grand Trunk. Uppsala was a stop on the Canadian Pacific, now Canadian Pacific Kansas City, which you can see here. And then we're going up to Ignace, and Ignace was yet another stop, so it was the next major stop after Uppsala. And again, when you travel through this part of the country, you're going to get a lot of the places were not created when the highway was built. They actually date back to the railway times, right? So they're much, much older, right? So
Excuse me.
the Canadian Pacific Railway was built through this area in the late 1870s. So some of these places have been here for a very, very long time. Now, what's interesting is we've been driving for a bit, and on our last episode, our last driving adventure, we basically turned off here at Uppsala, and then we drove up Newmack Road to the railway grade. Just to give you an idea of the distances, you can see the sign as we're just passing here. Ignace is 106 kilometers from here. So we have literally almost another hour of driving before we actually turn off onto the secondary highway to drive up to the railway grade. So again, just kind of gives you an idea of some of the distances that are involved here in northwestern Ontario. On our last scouting mission that we did back in July, that Terry and I did, we drove up to Graham, and Graham Road is just up ahead here. We drove off, and again, there's a good, what do you figure, Terry? It's about a half an hour drive up Graham Road to get
about that, yeah.
To get to
Graham Station or whatever.
To get to Graham Station, to get to the railway grade. So again, some really, really big distances involved in some of these explorations. This is the longest one that I've done. I've driven through Ignace before on my way to Winnipeg. Have you ever gone up 599 before?
Years ago.
Okay.
And I was just going to say to you too, like after we get off the highway at Ignace, it's probably going to be another 40-ish minutes up to Silver Dollar.
Yeah.
And then where we want to get to, it's about, I don't know, about 5 to 8 kilometers before you get to Silver Dollar is where the railway crosses.
Yes.
The highway.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Yeah.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll switch off here, and then we'll come back to things once we get up to Ignace. Okay, so we've arrived in the sprawling metropolis of Ignace. We had to kind of go a little bit past where we needed to turn off. Terry made a little stop at the gas station. So basically, you can see a little bit of the community here now. I would be remiss without saying that it's been a couple of bad days here. So on Tuesday, there was an accident between here and Dryden, and so the highway was closed for probably a good 17 hours or so between the two communities, because there was unfortunately a fatal accident.
1.5 kilometers, turn left on 599.
And then yesterday, there unfortunately was yet another accident, this time on the highway that we're going to be driving on, which is a secondary highway which goes to the north, which is Highway 599. And so that highway was closed between 6:30 and almost 5 o'clock, and sadly it was yet another fatal accident. Certainly condolences to the families of the people that were involved. That is one of the sad realities, not to try to get political. We don't
800 meters,
really do that on
this
channel, on this series. But one of the sad realities of northwestern Ontario here is some of these highways are notorious for some of the accidents that occur on them. Is kind of antsy here. We've got another 39 minutes to drive here before we turn off onto the railway grade. So this is this is Highway 599. So
Turn
as
left on 599.
we'll wait for the GPS to finish doing its thing here, because it's going to tell us to keep driving straight for another whatever.
Continue on 599.
Continue on 599. Okay, so basically, I mentioned earlier we're going to do a quick little thing about highways here in Ontario. So essentially, there's different classifications of highways. So the top classification would be your 400 series highways that you're going to find in southern Ontario, particularly around Toronto. And so you have things like the 401, which is probably one of the most famous highways here in Canada. It's actually one of the busiest highways in North America. Oh God, we get a train of all things.
That's not one that we passed.
So this is the Canadian Pacific, Kansas City. I don't know what the subdivision is on the other side of Ignace, but this is the end of the Kaministiquia subdivision here in Ignace. So anyway, so you have the 400 series highway. Those are sort of the top tier highways, and then you have the next tier, which is basically, I don't know how many of them there are, but the big one that's in this area we just got off of, which is Highway 11 and Highway 17. So basically, Highway 17 starts in Sudbury. So basically, Highway 400 comes north of Toronto to Barrie. At Barrie, Highway 400 becomes Highway 69, which goes to Sudbury. Highway 11 that goes to North Bay. Highway 11 continues all the way to Nipigon. At Sudbury, you get onto Highway 17, and that continues to Nipigon. And so Highway 11 and 17 come together in Nipigon. They continue as such until west of Thunder Bay at Chappaqua, where they split. We looked at in our previous episode. And then Highway 17, which we were just on, continues to the north, and Highway 11 goes to the south. There are some other highways that fit into that classification. So for example, the highway running south of the Thunder Bay, Highway 61, which we were on when we did our little visit to Minnesota. The train is going slow here because it's entering the siding and the station at Ignace.
Stopping.
So now it's like completely stopped, which is fantastic. Just makes our journey even a little bit longer here. And so there's Highway 61. There's Highway 72, I think is the same classification, which runs from Dryden up to Sioux Lookout. There's Highway 71, which runs between, is that the one that runs between Rainy River and Kenora, right?
I think so.
Okay. And then there's the next classification, which is kind of like your 500 and 600 series highways, or the 100 series highways, right? So this is I think maybe the 100 series highways fit into a different classification, but these are secondary highways. So this is Highway 599. This runs up to Savant Lake, I think. And then there's a highway that comes off of this at Silver Dollar, which is Highway 642, and that runs up to Sioux Lookout. And so there's all kinds of different classifications. So this is considered a highway, but these 500 series, 600 series highways generally have lower speeds on them. They aren't maintained the same. They don't generally have the same alignment that the major highways would, right? So basically, that's why the speed is lower on them. They're not 90 kilometers an hour. They're usually things like 80 kilometers an hour, just simply because you can't drive as quickly. There's lots of curves and turns and things like that, which, not to speculate, but may have helped to potentially precipitate the accident that happened yesterday here on this stretch of highway, which was again very, very unfortunate. Okay, so we're not sure how long we're going to have to wait here, so we're going to shut off, and then we're going to come back once we get to the where the railway grade crosses the highway. All right,
It's
so
1.5 kilometers. Arrive at Highway 599 access on the left.
all right, so you heard the GPS. So basically in just over a kilometer, we are going to be arriving at the railway crossing. So basically where the railway line once crossed Highway 599. You can see the sign right here, Valora Road. Valora is the next station to the west. The next station to the east is Unaka. So again, the Grand Trunk Pacific had alphabetically named stations. So here is the railway grade itself.
Arriving at Highway 599
They just did some grading on here.
left.
Look at this, it's like a highway. All right, so here we are turning on to the railway grade. I need to pause and turn on. We're gonna, actually what we'll do is we'll pull up to this spot right here. And both Terry and I need to make a little pit stop. Maybe the dog does too. So what we'll do is we will pause the cameras momentarily and resume once we get going here again. All right, so we're back on the road here, back on the railway grade. Nice and bumpy here. You can see that there's a lot of work that's been done to the grade. Sorry, Loon. So it's a bit more like a highway as opposed to a railway grade. So what we're going to do is on our way south, we got about 26 miles to go, is normally what we do is we record all of the physical features, right? So we record the rock cuts and things like that. And then on the way back, we're going to stop and check out stations. It's kind of a bit off the grade.
Yeah.
And we're going to check out the stations, and we're going to check out the bridges and everything. Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah, it's a bit off. It's a bit off, bud.
Got a old log check thing coming up here. There's a little lake to our side. This is Surprise Lake, I think.
Surprise.
Nice big causeway on top of the cutting across the lake here.
Love to fish some of these.
Low check area here.
Oh. Are they logging this road?
I'm guessing based by the upkeep of the road and how wide it is. Like on the other side, you're going to see next year we're going to do the other side, Terry.
Oh, okay.
And it's not good. There's some like flooded parts and things like that. We're going to have to do a lot of sort of in and out and back around, and
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah, we can't like just drive on it continuously because I think there's some washouts there. There's one spot for sure just past Valora. You can actually see where the embankment's washed out and people are driving their quads around the washout. You can see it on the satellite pictures.
So where are we calling it quits? Like the Manitoba border or something?
No, the plan is to eventually get to. Oops, there's a cut here.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
No, that's okay. So this is what we do too, is we got to mark all the stuff on here. So we end up going backwards sometimes.
That's all good.
Okay, so we're going to go backwards and then we're going to shut off the camera.
Rail
here.
plate.
Oh, a tie plate?
Yeah, tie plate.
Okay.
I shoot those.
Here. All right, so where we've done is we've arrived at the end of our journey. So I don't know if you can make it out on the camera here. Maybe I'll pull ahead a little bit. You can actually see the barricade. So this is marking where the railway grade is washed out. So just on the other side of these bushes here, there's a big washout. How big do you think that washout is, Terry? Good 30, 40 feet?
About 30 to 40, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pretty decent sized washout.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what we need to do now is we need to get ourselves out of here, which is going to be interesting.
Over a causeway backwards.
Yes, we're going to be driving over a causeway in reverse. Luna, move your head.
We're actually on a little island right now.
It's kind of funny how I'm looking backwards, yet I have a rear view camera. I find it weird trying to watch the camera.
Yeah,
and drive.
same here. I'd rather just do it the old-fashioned way. I'm sure the young kids these days just use the camera, but a turtle or a beaver or something in the water. Oh, you're doing good, man.
I'm just trying to stay in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. Middle.
Kind of like life, right? Just trying to stay in the middle.
Yeah, ride the center lane. You're good. That's a big bloody lodge over there too. Trying to watch what I say too, because you're recording.
Yes. Keep it PG, kids.
Yeah. Gosh darn, Davey, that seems keen. So now we're gonna go over to the outfitters joint and raid their beer fridge.
Yeah. Having a hard enough time driving as it is.
Yeah.
Oh, my neck is starting to hurt.
Oh yeah, yeah. Remember when we were talking about getting old, Dave?
Yeah.
Can't be that much further to that turnaround spot. Oh, shoot. Further than I thought.
No, we didn't look for.
What's that?
Oop, going the wrong direction. So right about here somewhere, there should be a spur. There was a sawmill.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like a long time ago, like.
And you said early on, eh?
Yeah, like it shows up on the 1911 census, and then it shows up on the 1915 timetable.
Okay.
Basically, it says the Selwyn Mill.
Which makes sense. It wouldn't be far from the water, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be where the outfitters are now.
It's right before that road.
Hmm. Oh.
No, I can't see what I'm doing on the GPS because the GPS is pointing up.
Yeah.
So it's showing us like going on the grade, but like kind of move the arrows pointing that way, but going backwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's confused as to what the hell we're doing.
Oh, it smells like wet dog.
Because it is a wet dog.
Yeah, I know, but...
I know, Dave. I'm just being...
Yeah, I know. You're just being your pain in the ass self.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so the spur is... Now, could you imagine being out here in 1911?
No, I wouldn't want to be out here.
And working at a sawmill?
No thanks. No such thing as air conditioning. Hot as heck, hot as heck.
So right basically here, Terry. Right, probably right there.
Oh. Okay, you know what? That makes sense because
right, yeah, we were looking. Remember, we drove in. We were
yeah.
looking at that spot.
Yeah.
So that's the spur. That's the spur that goes down to the sawmill. And the sawmill, I believe, is basically, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much right where the lodge is now.
That's what I was wondering. Remember, I said like it's probably where the lodge is. So I'm guessing like the actual building of the sawmill, it's all gone. And
well, I would assume you'd have to go to the you'd have to go to the lodge, yeah. Right? And okay, so we'll turn back on when we see that's Selwyn Road. So that road, Terry.
Oh, you could come in off.
You could come off the highway.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll turn off and we'll come back when we get to Eva Lake.
Oh, jeepers, that's.
All right, so we're slowly making our way back here. This nice little spot. We are just to the north of Soden Station, and we're running alongside the English River, which is the major river system in the area. Here you can see we're passing through a rock cut. Kind of hard to see with the sun and the shadows, and it is quite a lengthy rock cut. But just an absolutely gorgeous area here alongside the river, and the river is huge. It's quite massive. body of water, and it actually forms several lakes. So back where we sort of stopped, the river basically forms Selwyn Lake, and then it forms several lakes in this area here. And then the English River works its way like north, and then it works its way west. Because where does it flow? I'm pretty sure it flows by, like it flows by Sioux Lookout somewhere.
There's a signage.
There was?
Yeah.
Did we mark that one?
I don't know.
All right, we're backing up. Derry says he saw something.
Keep going.
This is what our whole day has been like. It is like...
Yeah, slow. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. Stop. 50 cars.
I think we got that one.
Did we get that one?
Yeah, hold on, let me see.
Just make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
50 car.
Okay.
Yeah, we got that one. So, it is now... What time is it? It's like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, our time.
Our time. It's just been a long, slow, tedious day. You hear Looney panting. We still got couple of stops to make. We got 3 more bridges to check out. We have Cannon and Yanaka Station to stop at. We've been pretty quick, like with Reba and Sodin. We were able to find what we think were the station locations. We found the water tanks or the wells at the station. So that seemed to go quite well. Hopefully you're going to see a nice view of the river here. I just sort of turned on the cameras, and obviously we came the other direction, so it's hard to know where kind of the open spots are. So I will make conversation here as we go through, and there will probably be a long version of the video and a short version, and we'll obviously make sure that the view of the river gets into the short version. Luna's panting like crazy. It's quite warm. The thermometer on the truck is showing 29.
It's above that.
Yeah, there's humidity in there as well. Thank God there's a breeze, which is helping, but obviously in the trees here, it's not very prevalent.
Oh God.
These biting flies have been particularly bad today. Both of us have gotten bitten up at times. Moving a lot faster than we were this morning and first part of this afternoon. Just having to stop and mark all the cuts and the rock cuts.
Oh, yeah.
Looking for telegraph poles with the signage on them. Didn't see any milepost markers, but we saw quite a few with the siding car indicators on them. You'll get a view of the river at some point.
Should be soon. It's right
like
there.
there was a few spots that we went by that you could see the river very well. Maybe up ahead. Okay, what we'll do is maybe we'll shut off and turn back on when we get up ahead. We'll just let the camera roll here. You can enjoy the beauty of northwestern Ontario here. Hard to believe this used to be kind of a railway line, right? It just looks like some backwaters road here with the amount of growth. here you might get some views of the river. Let's see what you can see on the camera here, on the front facing camera. Hopefully you can see something. Maybe we'll do this, we'll point you a little bit in that direction. Hopefully you can see the river okay. You can see it's just a massive, massive body of water. The breeze is so nice. Oh. I see Luna's kind of soaking it in too.
At least we were able to dodge that weather. That was good.
Yeah. Let's point you this way a little bit again. So hopefully you can see the river. Again, it flows to the north. Surprising given the amount of rain that.
Yeah. Like you said though, maybe something opened up.
Logging road. See how much better you can see things when the sun goes behind a cloud.
Oh yeah.
And again, gives you an idea of when we do these railway hikes, why I try to do things when it's cloudier. Just completely evens out the light and makes it a lot easier to see things. Might get another shot of the river here, and then we'll turn off and then we'll get back on when we get to Eva Lake. View of the river here. Hopefully you can kind of see things really well. Okay, so let's turn her off and then we'll come back when we get to Eva Lake. All right, here we go. So we're making our way across this very, very large bridge over Eva Lake. This bridge was rebuilt 1967, 1968. Don't mind me while I put both hands on the wheel and stare intently ahead, because first of all, this freaks me out a bit. And the last thing that Terry and I want to do is end up in the lake.
Or at the bottom.
Yeah, particularly at the bottom of the lake. You will notice the fire barrel platforms on the one side, and then the, yeah, just throw my GPS on top.
Yep.
And then the little contraptions here for the telegraph wires. And so right here, just off to the west side, there was actually a couple of structures, I'm guessing section houses, and there was actually a water tank right here where this guy has just sort of vacated his truck, and we're gonna pull over and have a look at that. Hopefully this guy doesn't mind.
Talk nicely.
We're gonna explain ourselves. You can actually see the bottom part of the water tank there. All right, so we're back in the vehicle here. We're heading our way back home. We just stopped for some food at the Silver Dollar Resort. I'm gonna be back there in October. The piece that we just did, that we just scouted to do this, because it's so far away from home, I'm going to be spending a bunch of days up here, long weekend in October to explore the grade, so it's just easier to get to.
Nope. Huh? Kind of looked like it.
So you can actually see up in the head there, looks like some rain clouds, some cumulus, really puffy cumulus clouds. Looks like some thunderheads up there. So we've got about a 60-kilometer drive to get back to the main highway. We'll get hopefully some self-service there. Might have to stop and grab a little bit of gas, top up the tank to be able to get home. And so it's going to be a really, really late day. It's 6:43 local time, like Thunder Bay time, and we left I left my house at 5:43. So it's been a 13-hour day so far, and we've got like a 3-hour drive home. So it's going to be a very, very long day. All right. Anyway, so we'll shut off, and we'll turn it back into the studio portion here.